All right, legends. For those of you that don't know, you might be wondering, why has Andy got a different face over here? Okay, we did announce in my live streams on my channel, I think Andy mentioned it a couple of times as well, we will be joining forces. We'll be putting our brains together because 4 eyes are better than 2. Okay, so you will be seeing a little bit more of me here on Andy's channel. We'll also be doing collaborations together where we'll brainstorm, go through comment sections. It's going to be really fun, guys. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming. So if you're wondering, where is Andy? He will be going live a little bit later on the same channel. Okay, it doesn't mean that my YouTube channel is just going to stop. It simply means that we're joining forces and we're putting brain power and everything together. So welcome to the live stream. If you don't know who I am Dewald. I'm from South Africa. I've been trading the market since 2017. I specialize in trading Bitcoin specifically. I have a couple of trading strategies that I apply. I also do Elliot wave theory like Andy likes to do, and but I have a couple of other, well, maybe 2 other strategies that I also like to deploy. And right, and one of them Andy actually does not like, okay, my D-line strategy. But I have been very successful in the D-line strategy. If you apply proper risk management and you apply rules, you know, it's been a success. Well, it's been my first profitable trading strategy. So without further ado, guys, I just have to say, I'm here, a crazy person on YouTube, giving you my perspective on the market. And when I highlight trading opportunities, okay, it is my trading opportunities. I advise you to do your own research. And this is for educational purposes only. I just have to put the disclaimer out there. Okay, so now you know. I'm a crazy dude providing my technical analysis. I encourage you to do your own research. Now, let's get into the chart, the juicy part. Let's start. Right, let me put myself here on this, whoops, wrong side. There we go. So welcome to the live stream, but I'm sure most of you know me already. Okay, let's go through a couple of comments, say hi to the beautiful community, and then we can get the show on the road. Good morning, welcome to the live stream. May, Dewald and Legends, nice to be here live. Yes, absolutely, a little bit of an earlier live stream, okay? Myself and Andy want to time it, so maybe we do a video update in the morning, but we're gonna try and aim for like 2 live streams or 2 video updates per day. Okay, it's gonna slowly ramp up, but I mean, we want to bring you more. Okay, right, because oof, nice. Emergency, good morning. This ain't Andy. Well, unless Andy went for some plastic surgery overnight. Okay, Andy is a legend, seen his biceps. Right, this is deep fake. Guys, this is really me. Okay, if you haven't checked my channel, I do have a YouTube channel. Go check it out. But myself and Andy are joining forces, like I've said. You ain't crazy, dear. Right, can we have more morning streams? I will do my best to do these, you know, this time. I'm going to try and stick to a schedule so that by this time you will see either myself or Andy live or a video update, okay, where we summarize all the scenarios. So more coming. It's time for some real technical info from the legend. Ash, welcome to the live stream. Morning, Joe. Okay, I love these early streams. Perfect time for me. Perfect. Yeah, I know. Myself and Andy also realized that we have people inside of our community and inside of our live streams that are from all over the world, different time zones. Okay, so by bringing you more during the day, we hopefully covering some of those time zones as well. Right, so guys, let's get into the technical analysis. Okay, so I'm here on the 8-hour time frame. Okay, just want to make sure that my mic's working. Music is softly in the background. You guys can hear me, you can see me. Show us the cookie, Joe. Everyone wants the cookie because you guys know, for those of you that know me, you know that this is the most powerful tool in my arsenal. Okay, when I play long, I just put my cookie up there and it goes up. If I play short, I put my cookie there and it goes down. This cookie has been doing amazing things for me because Bitcoin, believe it or not, is a little cookie monster. It likes to go after that cookie. But now, okay, a little on a little bit more serious note, when I look at this little structure, we did not claim this low, and I need to use my magnet so I can snap it on perfectly, okay? We did not close or claim this low just as yet. Can you guys see? By a couple of dollars, okay? Maybe $100. What is that? That is it's like literally by $80, $100. We missed that low, okay? So for the bulls, is cutting it close over here, okay? You can still regard this as a higher low for now. Okay, it would be nice to actually sweep the liquidity below these lows, okay? Get that nice little SFP, which is also definitely a longing opportunity that I will be keeping an eye on. In this channel, you guys know me by now. I practice good risk management, and I can only show you the areas of interest that I am, or the areas of confidence that I'm interested in. If price goes back down, okay, I'm not interested in a trade. When price goes down and gets back up, then I become very interested in a long. Okay, because then I know where to put my stop loss. And that is a sign of strength trading back above this low over here. So yeah, on the larger 8-hour time frame, that would be a trading opportunity that I will consider based on the rules that I've just explained. Okay, because there is a scenario that's bad. As per the thumbnail, there's a scenario that could get really bad here to the downside, and I don't want to be adding to my position with no proper risk management, thinking that it's guaranteed it's just going to find strength above and start going to higher levels. Okay, this is a no trading zone for me if price is below this area, unless you have specific levels marked out. You apply your trading strategy like swing failure patterns, then I will show you which areas I will still be interested in longing a little bit further down. So guys, because this is my first live stream for this week, I want to focus a little bit on higher time frame, okay? And then during the end of the stream, I'm going to talk about this. Okay, we're going to zoom into that structure and see, well, what could potentially play out here. But it's always good for me as a technical analyst when I start out my week, and because this is my first live stream, I just want to see, well, where can this structure take us? Okay, can I derive some directional bias from where we are at the moment? So from a simplicity perspective, okay, I'm just going to show you my support and resistance. Okay, this is not Elliot wave theory. This is nothing crazy over here. But when I look at normal support and resistance, Mr. Matt, I am waiting for a sweep of the lows. Yes, Matt, I think I'm waiting for the same. Okay, these lows, just spoken about it. And you guys can see, for the moment, we are at support. Can you guys see? Okay, there's also this little pivot high. We are at support. There's a consolidation area. We dipped into it. We bounced. Now we are at support at the moment. The biggest area of resistance to the upside from a higher time frame perspective is around $83,000, $84,000. Okay, this you guys can see. Consolidation area, there's a nice little point of control where the most amount of volume was traded inside of this range. Okay, we bounced. We flipped it into support. We bounced. Hit resistance to perfection, and then we fell to the downside, lost resistance, and now we are at support. So logically, for me as a technical trader on the higher time frame, if we do get a nice little bounce here to the upside, this zone does become a very interesting shorting opportunity, because now you can flip this area back into resistance. Okay, well, it stays resistance and then it drops. Okay, so from a simplicity perspective, okay, I have my support and resistance areas marked out. So if price loses support, okay, the first trading opportunity is I want to see a little bit of a fake out. I want to see liquidity swept below this low. Oh dear, what is happening? I want people to panic. I want to see some fear. Okay, I want to see some bullish CVD, and I want price to get acceptance back above, because it is normal. Okay, Can you guys see there? You dip scarily below. It looks like you're losing support, and then you get the bounce back to the upside. Okay, this could happen. It looks like it wants to drop, and it gets acceptance back above. It holds the support, and it continues back to the upside. So definitely something, guys, and I'm just explaining simple support and resistance trading. And these levels has been beautifully respected, okay? This area, look at where we got the rejection, massive resistance in this zone. Okay, and for those of for those of you that don't know, you can also use your VRVP. Okay, and if your levels align with high volume nodes, look at this. Okay, then you know, okay, you're onto something. There's a high volume node there. It aligns with my resistance area. There's a high volume node here. And volume creates support and resistance. Okay, also where we lost support here at the moment, also high volume node. I actually need to include another box in here. That area actually looks very interesting as well. So for me, simple, just duplicate. Okay, let's put it in there. Right, so now I have an additional area here to the upside. So if price falls and it does not find its feet, let me just put this off. Okay, the next most interesting zone for me is this zone, the $68,000 zone. Okay, let's just call it the 68K zone. If price cannot hold the support, this is where I will be interested in a long. Okay, it is also the point of control, okay, of this entire range. Also, when I take a fib, and this is how I build up confidence, guys. If I take a fib from this low, a trend-based extension fib, to the high, and I reverse it to the downside, okay, this is where it becomes interesting. Sorry, guys, I did that wrong. I need to redo it. A, B, C. Okay, cool. I take it from this high to the low to the high, and I reverse it to the downside. Okay. You will see that these levels also align very nicely, especially this 1.618. This 1.618 also aligns very nicely with the support and the point of control of this entire range. Okay, guys, it's not about being one-sided. I can't just be bullish and I can't just be bearish. For me, what's most important as a technical trader is to have a plan, so that if price gets there, I know what to do. Okay, if I don't have a trading plan here at the bottom, and let's say price just starts to fall to the downside, what are you going to do? If you don't have a plan, then it means you're FOMOing into a trade. And my days of FOMOing are long gone. Okay, so for me, I know that there's support, there's a Fibonacci level, and I will definitely, okay, SFP. If I see that, whoa, okay, that's a trading opportunity for me. And I think there's a good chance that this level could hold because it's a very strong area of support. And then obviously a little bit further down, we have the $62,000 or $63,000 zone. I think which is also, I just want to do a fixed range profile there quick. Okay, let's do it for this entire zone up until there. Okay, so point of control, well, you have, depending on which exchange you use, okay, you might have the point of control at two different levels. Okay, so on Binance, the chart that I do my analysis on, you have the point of control in this zone. Okay, on some other exchanges, you have the point of control in this zone. Okay, but you can see you have two high volume nodes that can provide support. Okay, you also have the value area high here with the 1.618, and it's very common when you have a range and price comes back to the range to at least find support above the highs over here. At least a bounce, okay? Maybe it's a bounce that continues to the downside, but I can take advantage of that move. Okay, so I just wanted to keep it a little bit simple over here because I know Elliott wave theory can get very complex and not everyone understands it. But as a trader, the basics that you should at least understand is support and resistance. And now you can see how I align it with other areas of confluence. Now you can take it a step further and you can say, okay, well, Where's all my daily levels? Where's my weekly levels? Where's my point of controls? Okay, now it looks like an absolute mess here on my chart, but that's where I build confluence, because then when I zoom into the areas of interest that I'm interested in, okay, you can see if we do sweep the lows, we still have an untapped naked point of control. Do you guys see that low? Okay, so if price falls and gets acceptance back above, I can treat that as a swing failure because it might not break down. If it does break down and loses the zone, well, here by the 1.618, we have loads of support together with a value area high, like I've just explained on the higher time frames. A little bit further down, we have a nice little juicy daily level smack bang in the middle of my support over here. So those are areas of interest that I will be paying attention to for some longs. Hello, Dewald. Great idea. Hey, Dewald and Legends. I see you guys popping in here. Mr. A Trader. Hey, Legends. If you like Dewald's stream, smash up that like. Okay, cool, guys. So now, that's the simplicity of where we are at the moment. Okay. So you guys can see I have all my levels marked out. I always have a plan to the downside and I have a plan to the upside, because there's a chance, and I know, I'm acknowledging that there's a chance that price, okay, and I know people make fun of me because I always say that there's a chance, and when I say there's a chance, usually it does not carry high probability, okay, these type of scenarios. But I know, and I've seen this many times before. So let me just clean up the chart over here, take this out the way. I know that there are a lot of traders waiting for this low, okay, to be claimed again, specifically this low. I know there's a lot of people, if I look at social media, wow, it would be great to sweep the low. We're so close. Let's sweep that low. Let's sweep that low. There's a lot of people interested in that zone. And usually two things happen. When there's too many eyeballs on a specific level, you either front run it like we did now, okay, or you scare the crap out of everyone and you fall deeper. So everyone that has their damn limit orders here without proper risk management are deep underwater, liquidate their positions, or it scares them out of their trades. And then you get the bounce. But now you're already scared everyone out of the long. And then everyone's like, no, now this is a resistance. Now this is resistance, okay? It's going to be a back test and continuation. So everyone then starts looking for shorts only to get acceptance back above. And it continues, but you have a beautiful entry because you were smart. Okay, guys, I like to shower everyone with education. It's just something that I am passionate about. Yes, the 1.618 also aligns with the 2021 all-time high. That is an interesting point. Okay, that is an interesting point. Oh, I mean, my man, I did not even see that. That is a very interesting point. Okay, look at this, guys. The technical analysis is just so pretty. Okay, look at that. Okay, you have, now this is where you build more confidence. You have the value area high. And for those of you that were here during this, you know that this was boring to trade. Everyone got frustrated. People were calling for lower levels over here. Okay, if you followed me during myself and Andy's live stream, you will know that myself and Andy were screaming, we're going higher. Okay, it's a corrective structure. 0.88, there were so many clues inside of the structure that regardless of how long it took, even if it continued, there was a much higher probability to take out the highs again. Okay, which we did. But this now is interesting. 2021 highs. You broke out. Okay, you broke out. You come back for a retest. Okay, gets choppy. Double bottoms, triple bottoms. Okay, and then it finds momentum back to the upside. Now that is a very, very, very interesting scenario. You have the 1.618. You have the high. You have the value area high of this entire range. Massive volume that can provide support. And I can tell you now, I think there's a lot of people going to watch this area. Okay, there's a lot of people going to watch this area. Okay, unless we front run. And we now get the jump here to the upside. So I'm going to go through this structure okay, to see, well, what can form over here? What are the probabilities and how do I plan to potentially trade the structure with my trading strategies? Remember, guys, just a crazy dude on YouTube telling you what I would do. Okay. Now, let's look at this little monstrosity here to the downside. Okay. It would be nice to sweep the lows. We might not sweep the lows because I know a lot of people are waiting to sweep the lows. But what if, okay, there's a what if, price does not want to sweep the lows just as yet. And maybe we get a larger bounce here to the upside. Okay, flipping everyone bullish. And then people are going to say, technically, this was actually a higher low. So there's a chance we're going to take out the high. And maybe we do this and then we go to the downside. And that is definitely a scenario that I want to play to the upside. Okay, for those of you that watched my emergency stream on Saturday, you know that I said, okay, when we made this low, there's a chance that we can move higher. Okay, maybe we dip one more time, which we did. We dipped one more time and now we're getting momentum back to the upside. Okay, there was panic, there was fear, and it is strange to get a capitulation or a move like this on a Saturday. It's very strange to see this on a Saturday. Maybe happens once. Maybe once every 5-6 months you will see something crazy like this happening on Bitcoin on a Saturday. Okay, now I want to zoom into this structure and I want to go through a couple of scenarios. And I have my folders prepared, so hopefully this will go a little bit quicker. Okay, so can take that level out the way. First structure that I want to discuss is this little structure here to the downside, okay, which is inside of this little structure. But for now, something I want to point out here on the higher time frame. Let's go here onto the 8 hour, just zoom into this structure. Okay, there's a possibility that you have, I'm just going to freestyle it over here, A1, A2, this is your third wave, that's your 4, and now you are finishing up your 5th wave here to the downside. But in this scenario, you need one more low, at least. You need one more low in this scenario. Okay, let me explain. When I look at the structure, guys, and I like to zoom out, when a structure in Elliott wave theory does not make sense on the lower time frames, zoom out. Don't zoom in, zoom out. Okay, always better to zoom out to see what the structure actually looks like. So when I zoom out onto the 8 hour time frame, I can see that there's a structure and a correction. And then there's another fall. So at the moment, this is a 3-wave structure, and a 5th wave is not allowed to be a 3-wave structure. So in this scenario where we formed a 1, 2, 3, 4, you need a 4 and a 5. And that now aligns with the scenario where you claim this low and you get acceptance back above, because this impulse has to correct itself at least. You want to see a 3-wave corrective structure. Most common, you hit the 4th wave. It can go higher, but I'm just saying, guys, most commonly, like 70% of the time, when you have an impulse, your corrective structure taps or gets very close to the 4th wave, which is always a great profit taking area as well if you do successfully enter along on the 5th wave. Okay, so now in this scenario, I can go and spend a couple of hours explaining to you why I think this scenario does not carry the highest probability, but I have to entertain it because it has not been invalidated. When I take a fib from number 2 to number 4 and I drag it across, the hardcore official invalidation for a 4th wave is claiming the 618, and it did not. From a channeling perspective, okay, now when you start channeling, it's not common inside of a channel for the 4th wave to break the channel. It is way more common, okay, for your impulse to stay within the channel and your 4th wave not to claim the top of the channel. So preferably what you want to see is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then when it breaks the channel, you know that the impulse is done. So for now, there's a higher chance that this is a completed 3-wave structure and this is something new. But it has not been invalidated from an Elliott wave rule perspective or an invalidation perspective. Okay, so I still have to talk about the scenario, and in the scenario, you need one more low to complete your 5th wave. Okay, and when I discuss this structure over here, you'll see that it starts making sense. Okay, this is, I would say, a little bit bearish in the short term, but still very bullish in the medium term. Okay, because in the scenario, you expect the lows to be claimed. Okay, maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I don't expect a massive fifth wave to the downside. It is rare to see an extended fifth wave in Elliott wave theory. So I'm a probability trader. I know the biggest move already happened with the highest amount of volume. So it would be in my best interest if price drops to the downside to start looking for longs. Okay, in those areas that I've just highlighted on the support and resistance time frame. Okay, so now you guys can see how I combine my Elliott wave theory with support and resistance, looking at the structure, but I need to see the reaction because I know that there's a scary scenario which I'm going to take you guys through now as well. Okay, so what I want to do now is go through the next scenario just to say that, well, if this is a three-wave structure, if this is a confirmed three-wave structure, and this is not 4 and this is not 5, a three-wave structure can always be labeled as an A or a W. And I know it sounds like I'm teaching your ABCs, but when I draw it out, I just want to show you what could unfold over here. So you could label this a W, okay, because it's a three-wave structure, or you could label this a. Okay, you already had a three-wave corrective structure back to the upside, so I can now label this a X. And now you could form an A, a B, a C to complete your Y. So you guys can see this can still get nasty to the downside. Okay, but there's still a chance to at least take advantage of this move before we get the massive drop back to the downside. Because in my support and resistance areas, okay, you know that we have resistance. Okay, so I want to now just take a little bit of time because I know, guys, there's so much that needs to play out on the larger time frame. It's actually for me a little bit, it defeats the point to take you through, well, what could form here? Maybe we form an A, B, C, D, E. You form a triangle. You basically range. You do not take this low. Okay, it could form. There's so many scenarios that could play out, and it could take months and months for these scenarios to play out. I think the most interesting structure to look at right now is this little structure. Okay, because that's where the opportunities lie now. Now, let's dive into that little structure. Okay, so I'm going to go here onto the 4-hour time frame. Now, let's look at what happened with this fall here to the downside. I can actually go onto the 1-hour time frame so we can see the price action a little bit better. So now the question is, okay, the one thing I have noted and noticed is that with every low, okay, lower low, lower low, volume is decreasing, which is usually a sign that the bears are losing steam for now. They're losing steam. Also, what I like to look at is divergence. Okay, well, this is very interesting. You're making lower lows on price action, but you are making higher highs here. Can you guys see higher highs between those two pivots? That is bullish divergence, one-on-one, simple bullish divergence. The target is taking out these highs, which we've now claimed. We've claimed those highs. So you could argue that the bullish divergence have now played out. Yes, it can of course move higher. I'm not saying that price can't move higher, but the bullish divergence have played out, especially on the 4-hour time frame as well. Okay, this is something that I pointed out to our community and something that I need to highlight. Okay. Now that I'm talking about the community, look at that. Bullish divergence between those two pivots. Target is the high, something that I spoke about yesterday in the community. It played out. We took the highs. Okay, now the bullish divergence have played out. Guys, you can join our community for free. Okay, down in the description of this video, okay, DM me the word access. There's the word that you need to DM me, the word access, and you select that link. And you DM me the word access and you will get 2 months free access to myself and Andy's community. There's a couple of steps that you need to follow, but the message will, we will take you through the steps that you need to follow. But basically, you need to sign up with one of the links down below, okay? Have a minimum deposit and you get access, right? And the deposit that you make is money that you trade. It's your money, okay? You're not giving us any money. So it's for free. Access to our community. Absolute insane deal. Because often in the live streams, I will say things like, myself and Andy spoke about this. I highlighted this to the community. Well, that's where you get the alpha first. It's myself, Andy, Dylan. We've got coaches there that does private live streams just for the community as well. We have news, fundamentals. There's so much in that community, guys. So there's your chance to get access for free for 2 months. Just DM me the word access, link down in the description. Okay, now let's continue. Now, the first scenario that looks the most interesting is this. And I know it looks like an absolute mess. Okay, but I'm going to explain. So maybe let me open up this folder and take you through this step by step, because it's always packed with education and alpha. Right, so in this scenario, we have formed an impulse to the downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The impulse is finished. You had a 3-wave corrective structure in a running flat where you did not take the high, and then we continued a massive drop here to the downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's a chance that this impulse is finished. And the reason I say that there's a good chance that this impulse is finished is because it broke channel. Okay, and I love to focus on channels as well when I do Elliot wave theory. Because when I switch on this channel, okay, and I go into the 1 hour time frame, let me explain. Okay, just like the higher time frame where I told everyone, okay, it is very rare in an impulse for the 4th wave to leave the channel. It's rare. Usually I then start considering, well, maybe this was the end of the impulse. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done. And now we're busy with a larger corrective structure, okay, for the 3rd wave over here. We could now be busy with this one's corrective structure. Hope that makes sense. Hello, Dewald Thomas. But then, Dewald, if you say it's a 3-wave structure, how are we going to count the structure before that? Ooh, I'm not sure. Back to the higher time frame, but let me just finish the smaller time frame here, and then I'll take some questions. Okay, I'll go through some questions. So to keep it simple, guys, from a simplicity perspective, I try and keep it as simple as possible so that everyone can understand what I'm trying to paint out over here. In the channel for this 1, 2, okay, for this 1, 2 over here, it has a channel. Okay, you connect the high to the low. Okay, it is very common for your 3rd wave to leave the channel. That's fine. Okay, oh, it leaves. And then it's also common for your 5th wave to finish before you tap the top of the channel. So you want to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now that also aligns with that higher time frame scenario that I've just shown you. Can you see how I put the puzzle pieces together? Because the local structure needs to show me what the higher time frame can do as well. And the higher time frame, I need the local structure to show me how that fits into the puzzle pieces. So there's a chance that we are now busy with this corrective structure in the 4th wave. Most common targets for your 4th wave is inside of the green box that I highlighted over here. Okay, so when you take your fib from the high of 2 to the low of what we've just created over here, okay, you now want to see a 3-wave structure. Most common 4th wave target is between the 0.382 and the 50%. 618, invalidation. So if the structure moves up here and it taps my invalidation, I will not consider a 5th wave anymore. It doesn't mean that price can't fall, but I'm not considering an impulsive structure to the downside anymore. Because once you tap the 0.618, okay, because a lot of people always ask me, okay, so Dewald, if we tap the 0.618, we're just going up. No, not always. Okay, because if this is a 3-wave structure, you can label this A. You can even label it a W. And then you tap, price moves up, okay, so it invalidates the 5th wave, But now you can label it an A or a W. So you could get a B. It goes up nicely. And then you get an absolute monstrosity back to the downside in a C. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you're not going to get a movement down. It just means it's not an impulsive structure anymore. But it does open up the door that it's corrective to the downside, which is great on the higher time frames, because when you have a corrective structure to the downside, you always increase the probabilities of taking the high of the structure. So if price, for example, goes up here and it invalidates this little leg, and you have an A, you form a B, and you go down for a C. Okay, when the structure is done, it presents a massive, great longing opportunity, because when you have a three-wave structure, there's always a high probability that you're going to take that high. Okay, so it impacts probabilities. When you have a five-wave move down, so if this had to play out, 4, 5, then because you have an impulse down, you increase the probability for a correction and continuation to the downside until you get a three-wave structure. But as long as you're building impulses to the downside, you can correct, continue, correct, continue. Okay, that's the danger about impulsive structure, guys. Impulsive structures are very dangerous, depending on, well, dangerous in the sense of spot bags, investments go down. Okay, from a day trading perspective, I really don't care. I really don't care if it's an impulse or it's a corrective structure. It just gives me the probabilities from a trading opportunity that I'll be keeping an eye on. So this is the one scenario that I'm currently keeping an eye on. So for completed impulse, we want to see a 1, 2, 3, maybe it's done, okay, 4, and you want to see the low swept again. Price gets acceptance back above, shows some strength, maybe it breaks the channel, great. But once you have a 5-wave structure, okay, it's you could have that correction and continuation to the downside. And yes, it can still go higher, because on the higher time frames, I did highlight that this can be an A, you can create a B here to. Anyways, guys, that's the higher time frame. Okay, I'm not going to speculate on higher time frames. I just want to trade the local structures. Okay, so now on the 15-minute, I want to focus on what happened over here. Okay, and what could potentially play out here on the local time frame. So let's switch this scenario off. And I just want to talk about, well, how bad can it get? I got hacked. Andy is in the house. Yes, Andy, enjoying here on your live stream, doing some analysis for your community. It's deep fake. Right, guys, I just want to, I can't even say if you guys haven't checked out Andy's channel. I'm here on Andy's channel providing the alpha. And Andy, what I've told the guys as well, we're joining forces and we're going to give everyone so much more. Okay, 2 live streams a day. Okay, different time zones. I think it's a recipe that's made to win. But now I want to just quickly go through the most bearish case scenario that could play out over here. Okay, because I don't want to be that person, okay, that says, oh, we're going to do the 4th wave, we're going to do this, and then we're going to continue back to the upside. I'm looking for a long, and then price is down here, and you're like, oh, what happened? What happened? In the most bearish case scenario, we have to acknowledge that we are downtrending on the higher time frame. Okay, we are downtrending here on the higher time frame, guys, and just ignore the scenario. I was just playing around this morning, working out some macro scenarios. Okay, for now, we are making lower highs and lower lows. So the trend is your friend until the end. You can continue. Okay, and we all know what happened over here, because I know that people are taking bars patterns and they're looking at what happened over here, and we are basically here at the moment. We've gotten the dump, we have the 3-wave corrective structure, and now we are about to take out this low. Okay, this is now what everyone's watching. Very similar. We are about to take out this low. So if you look at the previous scenario, well, it looks like price is going to absolutely waterfall here to the downside. And this is why I just have to highlight this most bearish case scenario over here. Okay, in this scenario, your 3rd wave is not done. okay? And you have formed your 1, 2, you're still going to create and complete number 3, and then a 4, and then another 5 here to the downside. But it's now this structure that becomes interesting, because inside of the third wave, okay, you have formed a 1 and a 2. So that could be your first leg inside of your third wave. This could be another 1 and an ABC, 2. So you have a 1, 2, 1, 2. And then you fall down in a 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 to complete your third wave. So I just want to highlight that this can get really ugly, and this is why I keep on highlighting here on the higher time frames, guys. If I don't have a proper plan, okay, or play a swing failure, I have support over here, I have support over here, and maybe I have support over there. If I don't have a proper plan, so if my plan is I want to play an SFP from the low and price just keeps on falling, okay, no trade unless I can get in there with a sign of strength, or get in there with a sign of strength, because it can seriously drop here to the downside. $63,000, which is basically that value area low of this previous range, okay, over here. Oh, sorry, or the point of control, it's this line here in the middle. Okay, so in the most bearish case scenario, we are building up a double 1, 2 inside of the third wave. And you create a 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. So I want to see price turning around, and then this 3, 4, 5 still needs to play out. And in this scenario, you also expect a correction. Okay, so there's a longing opportunity and a potential shorting opportunity, unless this changes into a 5-wave structure. Okay, because this could still be the C wave here to the downside. Anyways, maybe I will take some time and do some macro analysis. You guys can see I've been preparing some macro analysis on the daily and weekly time frame. Okay, and we can go through those scenarios as well. It's interesting to talk about them, but it doesn't really give me trading opportunities. Okay, so it can get nasty, and I just want to highlight, guys, that if price just drops like a hot knife through butter, this is the scenario that I'm looking at. Okay, I want to see a drop. Okay, and this is specifically what I will be looking at. Price needs to fall, and I want to see volume increasing. I want to see not this. Volume is decreasing at the moment, showing me that the bears are running out of steam. So if we do fall here to the downside, I want to see a massive amount of volume. And then with each low that we make over here, I want to see volume decreasing, because that shows me that the bears are running out of steam, and you could get this little reversal back to the upside. And then often what happens, you know, just to explain to you how impulses works, oh, it's turning around, it's turning around, it's turning around, thank God, I caught the low, I caught the low, and then it just sweeps everyone out quickly. Okay, it sweeps everyone out. That's what the last fifth wave does, just grabs that liquidity, and then you get the larger correction to the upside. Okay, so this is the worst case scenario. At the moment, it doesn't carry the highest probability. A lot of people do say that we are in a bear market, so it could get uglier to the downside. Now, another scenario, okay, and I'm sure Andy has spoken about most of these scenarios that I'm highlighting here as well. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Okay, I just want to clean up some of the levels. Let's open this up. I just want to take some of the fibs here out the way, just to keep it simple. Okay, when you have a 3-wave structure, W, X, Y, can give you an A. Okay, this could be a 3-wave structure in a C. Okay, ABC, A, B, C, 3-wave structure in a B. We did not tap the invalidation for this scenario. The invalidation is $70,000. So as long as price finds support in the zone, there's a chance for the bulls to even come and eat up this high. There's a chance. Okay, ABC flat. This is what we A, B, C. So even from the low that we've just created, the bulls have a chance, but you need to start forming impulsive structures to the upside. Okay, I want to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the correction that becomes interesting to join this opportunity. But until I see a 5-wave structure to the upside, okay, not interesting, because this could still be the 3-wave and the leg down again, okay, in that 5th wave. So definitely a scenario that could play out over here, okay? Where you claim the high again. I can just imagine how bullish people are going to turn when they see this. It's a 5-wave move up. The bull market is continuing, and then everyone longs this correction like crazy people, and it continues down and it takes the low again, because all this is a 3-wave structure continuation back to the downside. Loads of trading opportunities in this scenario. Okay. Also in this scenario, I know people are saying, is there a chance for one more low inside of this structure? If I go here onto the 1 hour time frame, okay, is there the chance for one more low? Because I can count a 1, a 2, and was this the 3 or is this the 3? Okay, because this could also be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, or you do this. Could even do this. Okay, this could be an ABC flat inside of the 3rd wave, but it presents a longing opportunity regardless of how you count it. And I did tell everyone, remember those lows from the range, okay, these lows are very close, and this is why I'm interested in a long in that zone. Because if price, let's say this is a 1, 2, 3 flat inside of 4, and we're going to take the low again, I want to see acceptance back above this low, okay, to play this momentum here to the upside, because it's either going to create an impulse or a corrective structure, like I've highlighted. What gives this low for me lower probability at the moment is the channel that I've explained to everyone, okay? Because when you take a parallel channel from the high, okay, just quickly, I'm just going to do it dirty, okay? You want the impulse to have finished over here, because now you're breaking the channel. So to get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, it's not an invalidation, it's just rare to see it. So there's a chance, a better chance, based on probabilities, that number 5 is in and 4 moves over here. Okay. And I think from a psychology perspective, you know, I must be honest, there's a lot of people waiting for this low to be claimed, which is basically this low. There's a lot of people waiting, and what if price turns around here and it goes up and it goes up and it goes up? Well, then now you know there's a chance for that ABC and probability to take the high. So it is an interesting swing trading zone here at the moment. Okay, so now there's a couple of more scenarios as well. I'm just going to quickly run through them. Okay, there's another one. There's another one. Okay, from the all-time high, we've created an A, B, C, and a W. You have a 3-wave structure in an X, and this could be your first A. If it stops here and it does not take that low again, there's a chance in this scenario where B has to tap at least the 0.9. Because if A is a 3-wave structure, B has to tap a flat target, and your first flat target is at the 0.9. If you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you move A over here, then B can be as shallow as it wants. It can even be a sideways triangle. B can do whatever it wants. But the scenario is still valid. Okay, but for now, because we only have a 3-wave structure, and remember, I do my technical analysis based on the price action that I see today. So based on the price action today, we have a 3-wave structure to the downside. So from a directional bias perspective, this becomes interesting. So if you get a bounce, okay, and price moves higher and it invalidates that 4, 1, 2, 3, it invalidates the 4th wave, okay, there's a chance that you could still go up to at least hit a flat target where you formed a W, X, Y in an A, B flat, C to the downside. Very interesting scenario. But I mean, it's interesting, guys. It's interesting, but it does not necessarily provide me with day trading opportunities. The day trading opportunities is inside the local structure. I don't necessarily like to go smaller than the 15-minute time frame, okay? Because in Saturday's live stream, we were here. This is what happened on Saturday. I did an emergency live stream on Saturday, and I said, guys, there's a chance, okay, that this could be a WXY here to the downside. This is the target. If it's an ABC, I think we're going to take the low again. That's a trading opportunity. I highlighted this trading opportunity on Saturday. Price dipped below and it got acceptance back above. That was the trading opportunity that I highlighted on Saturday. Of course, no financial advice. You do you at the end of the day. But this is what I was looking at on Saturday and on Sunday and on Mondays to say that, well, if it's a WXY, there's a good chance the low could be in. And for those of you that saw on Saturday, okay, I traded this opportunity. I think I got in over here and I told everyone I'm taking profits at the 0.382 right over there. So TP1 got hit and I updated the community. Okay, there we go. That's the trading opportunity that I took on Saturday. Okay, I got in here. We tapped the 1.382 on the macro, on the higher time frame. And I said, guys, this always for me is a TP1 area. Also, what I said is that when I take TP, I will de-risk my position. I will move my stop loss. Okay, which I did, and then I got stopped out. But with profits. Got stopped out with profits. The next trading opportunity was to say that, well, what if this is going to form, okay, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because there's a chance that this could have been an A, B, C done. And then I said, well, it can also form a 4 and a 5. It takes the low again, and then it gets momentum back up. So that was the next trading opportunity. So it's the local time frames that has the opportunities inside of them. Okay. And once you start learning Elliott wave theory and you learn the structures, okay, it makes trading a hell of a lot easier. Okay, just reading the structures, knowing that there's a possibility to take the low, you're looking for acceptance back above a specific level, you're breaking the channel. Okay, so that's basically what I'm looking for right now, guys. I just want to make sure that local areas of resistance to the upside that I'm currently watching, okay, so it also becomes, great profit taking area if you did enter along at the lows. Okay, the highs for me is always a great profit taking area. It's just from a price action perspective, it's a great area to take profits. Okay, if price wants to continue here to the upside, we have this little order block. Okay, you can see support, you bounced, you consolidated, and then you fell. So that is resistance. So price could form a three-wave structure here and reject. Okay, and then the next area of resistance, just based on price action, is the point of control of this range. Okay, you have a nice little consolidation, point of control in that range, area of resistance. So these are two zones where we could get the rejection from. And maybe it rejects and it comes and claims the low. Because when I align my resistance also with this scenario, this one. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit just to show you the entire structure so you can see where this fits in. I'm going to take that out. Okay, so now you can see how this also aligns with this structure. You have a 1, 2, 3. Look at that. My first area of resistance aligns with the 0.382. My second area of resistance actually aligns, and I didn't purposefully place it there so that it can align. It so happens that this price action has resistance in those two zones. And it also aligns with the 0.5, the 0.382 fourth wave target. So there's a chance when price gets into this zone that it can fall and claim the lows again. Right, remember to smash up that like button. And for those of you that did join a little bit late, remember you get 2 months for free inside of our community. DM me the word access on Telegram to get access to the community where myself and Andy share daily technical analysis. We're absolute. Okay, trade time. I've seen this message like 100 times. I would actually appreciate if we do have a mod, Mr. Crypto Big Brains, if you can just delete, maybe you did delete those messages. I'm doing it here from a different thing. Okay, maybe you did. Okay, maybe you did. Right, just delete those messages. I learned so much from watching Dewald and Andy. Thank you. Absolute pleasure, man. Absolute pleasure. Myself and Andy are so passionate about education. Okay. And you will also see myself and Andy are going to, or we are doing so much more even inside of the community. There's always updates inside of the community. Remember, guys, price action develops not just during the YouTube live stream, but when it matters most and price action develops, myself and Andy keep the community up to date. If you want 2 months for free, link down in the description. DM me the word access to join. Okay, that is unfortunately all I have time for today. Andy will go live a little bit later, so keep an eye on the notification. And until the next one, just for now.